living life is Stae. Hey, hey, 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 love yourself first, explicitly. You overtook yourself to move with that energy. Empower your self-esteem. Self-love is king. That's the only way to win. That's how you empower your dreams. Living life is Stae. Hey, hey, living life is Stae. Hey, hey, living life is Stae. Hey, hey, living life is Stae. Hey, hey.
Hey y'all, happy Mindset Monday and welcome to Living Life with Stae. Man, y'all, it has been such a phenomenal weekend and we are still rocking and rolling and just enjoying. If you follow me on any other form of social media, you'll see that we just had an awesome weekend celebrating the upcoming birth of my fourth grand mini, King Lee Hall. We had a wonderful baby shower this weekend and just so much fun. And we're still going, y'all. So the kids are still here. I have a house full of millennials. And y'all don't sleep on hanging out with the younger generations. They will keep you young at heart. They'll keep you young at spirit. And you can learn a lot from them. So I've just been enjoying the socializing, the conversations, and just, getting to know them and what makes them tick and the things that they think about. And when you really decide to sit down and have a conversation with the younger generations, you'll realize that you have more in common than you really thought. You may think of things a little bit differently. You may call things by a different name, but we really have a lot of the same things in common. So it has just been a great few days. And so if y'all hear it in the background, they are still in there chitting and chatting and having a good time. I made dinner tonight. I made some spaghetti, a Caesar salad, some garlic toast, some garlic and cheese toast. I made a whole thing of margaritas. So they in there having a good time. But I'm like, y'all, I got to do Living Life with Stae. So that's why you see my background's a little bit different, because usually I'm coming to y'all from the other side of the house, but I had to come into Wallace's office because I didn't want to disrupt it. Y'all know that. What's that song? Don't disturb this groove. I didn't want to disturb the groove because they in there having a good time. So, hey, Chris, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so, so much. Hey, Deborah, thank you for being here. And come on in, y'all. Come on in because we are going to have a good time. Here's the thing about planning ahead. So I knew I was going to have a very productive week. I knew I had a lot going on, a lot on the calendar, a lot on the schedule. So I was like, let me go ahead and get my lives together, make my thumbnails, do all the things so that I can be prepared ahead of time. And so all I have to do is jump on and do my live. Well, if any of y'all use StreamYard, you know how it is. When you go into your studio, it shows you all of your lives, but it puts them in chronological order, but from bottom to the top instead of top to the bottom. Isn't that a rap song? Bottom from the top to the bottom, but whatever. But I digress. It had it in the bottom to the top, and I clicked on the first one. So I actually started my live on what would be tomorrow's live. So I stopped it and started again. So yeah, sorry for any confusion in that. I deleted it from Facebook already, but I have not deleted it from here. And that leads me to the other thing as far as Facebook. If you are watching from Facebook, please know you're welcome to watch from Facebook. That is why I broadcast on Facebook. However, the platform doesn't always play very well with Facebook. So sometimes it takes me a while to be able to see your comments and things like that, and to be able to see that you're in the room. So if you want to join the discussion in real time and be absolutely certain that I'll be able to see your comments, then you want to jump over to to YouTube, go to @StaeHall. Make sure you put the @ in, because Facebook is not trying to show me without the @ but go to YouTube, put in @Stae Hall. Like just now, I got an error occurred. Wait for a minute, and it's on my Facebook. So yeah, YouTube is just the best bet. Just go over to YouTube, put in the @Stae Hall, and subscribe to the channel. And then that way you will be able to make sure that I see your comments in real time and you can be a part of the broadcast. I've also put the link in the chat. It is pinned to the top. So if you want to join the chat, if you want to join me up here on stage, if you have something to ask, if you have something to contribute, y'all know this is an open platform. I never claim to know it all. I love input from everybody. So with all of the housekeeping and the updates being taken care of, let's talk about today's topic, which is letting go of the woulda, shoulda, coulda mindset. The woulda, shoulda, coulda mindset, y'all, is a trap. It is definitely something that can keep you stunted. It is something that can keep you complacent. It is something that can keep you in fear. It is something that can keep you in the past. It is something that can just keep you in a mindset that is not conducive for forward movement and upward growth. That woulda, shoulda, coulda mindset, for those of you who don't know, it's about keeping yourself in the place and in a mindset where you're always reliving things, reliving decisions, reliving circumstances, and second guessing yourself and saying, if only I would have made this choice, then I could have done that. And then I would have become this. And then I should have done that. And so all of those are past tense, right? Would have, should have, could have, which means it's gone. It's past tense. There's nothing that you can do about it. So why are you thinking about it? The only reason to have a past mindset is if you're using it for some sort of measurement of growth to say, okay, I should have done this, so I'm going to do it now. But if you're living in that past mindset based on where you are in life today, and blaming the woulda, shoulda, coulda on where you are in life today, that is not going to bring you, hey, emotional new soul, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you so, so much. Yes, thank you so much. But yeah, the only thing that woulda, shoulda, coulda mindset is going to do is keep you in a mindset of regret. It's going to keep you in a mindset of unforgiveness of yourself. It's going to keep you just in a past mindset. And past is exactly that. It's the past. So one thing about life is we can't go back. Whatever is done is done. We can't do it over. We can't undo it. All we can do is move forward and do something differently. And so even when people want to talk about, redoing and all of that, you're still doing something new. You're doing something different and you're making a choice to do that. And so that's why I wanted to talk about the woulda, shoulda, coulda, because as long as you continue to allow yourself to be in that woulda, shoulda, coulda mindset, hey, KC, hey, fam, thank you so much for being here. As long as we keep ourselves in that woulda, shoulda, coulda mindset, then we're keeping ourselves in the past, which is keeping us from moving forward. So it's like you're trying to move forward, but you're in this like tug of war, but you're playing against an opposition that is weighted so much heavier than what is in front of you, meaning that the things that have passed, especially if you're a seasoned person and you've reached that 100 mark and beyond, then the things in your past are going to outweigh where you are now, meaning that if you hold on to those things, they're going to have the upper hand. They're going to continue to hold you back because that's decades of past things that can hold you in this place where how are you going to move forward from that? And so the only way to move forward and to literally catapult yourself into the present and then into the future is to let go of that weight of the past. Oh, Lord, let me take a sip. I was like, let go of that weight of the... Y'all ever do that? Your throat just get dry because I've been talking all day. But it's literally to let go of that weight of the past. So you know how that is when you have something like a boomerang, or not a boomerang. What's the thing called? Is it a boomerang on the horse? The wishbone type of thing, the David and Goliath. What is that thing called? A slingshot. It's the tension, right? So you're holding it back. You're pulling that tension. And think of that word, tension. So the woulda, shoulda, coulda, that past mindset, that holding on to things, that having regrets, that second guessing yourself, that mulling over, that dwelling. Like, dwelling is a horrible place to be. You don't want to dwell on things. Like, it happened, learn from it, moved on, because that tension from the past is going to just hold you back, because it's so many things, so many years, so many people, so many decisions, so many situations that are just holding you back. But when you let it go, bam, like a rocket ship, catapults you to your next, catapults you to your future, catapults you to your hopes, catapults you to your dreams, because you have finally released, you have finally let go, you have finally allowed yourself to move into your next, and you're no longer being held back. You're no longer bound. You no longer have those chains on you. You no longer have that resistance. That is then a release. And so that is what I want to instill in you today, because every bad decision, quote unquote bad, because is it really bad when you made the decision based on the knowledge that you had at the time? Is it really bad when you based it on even your emotions at the time, because maybe at that time you didn't realize that it wasn't the best thing to base your decisions on your emotions, right? So you did the best you could with what you had. You went with how you felt. Is it really a bad decision? No, it's this decision that you needed to make at that time for what might be best for you in your mindset at that time. It's the decision that you made with the tools that you had. And so that's another thing I want to be able to release you to, is stop overthinking things and stop smacking yourself on the hand for making bad decisions unless you knew better. And that's a different show for a different day, because some of us make decisions full well knowing that it might not be the best decision for us, right? Full well knowing that we've been down this road before. But we're talking about the decisions where it's a first time thing. We're talking about the decisions where we were going on the information that we had at the time. We're talking about those life choices based on what we truly believe to be best for us at the time. Why do you want to punish yourself from that? But again, it always goes back to us trying to be in this perfectionist type of life where we feel like everything we do has to be perfect. We're comparing ourselves to others. We're suffering from imposter syndrome. We're suffering from comparison syndrome. And we're just kind of like on team too much. And so we feel like we need to do all these things, and we feel like everything we do is not as good as it could have been. We feel like everything that we tried fails, when really all we were doing was learning and growing. And that's what life is, right? Life is about learning and growing. So your woulda, shoulda, couldas should just be, I did the best that I could with what I had at the time. And you have to extend yourself grace, and you have to be able to look back at some of the poor decisions, at some of the unfortunate circumstances, and realize that they were just learning experiences to then give you that slingshot catapult into your next. All of those, hey, Grammys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. All of those circumstances, all of those decisions, we would never be able to make the correct decisions sometimes without the wrong decisions, because those were our learning lessons. Those were the things that gave us the chops. Those were the things that gave us the education. Those were the things that gave us the courage, because sometimes we made poor decisions just because we were afraid. And being afraid is normal. And I know everyone will say, well, God doesn't give us the spirit of fear. However, what he did give us was flesh. What he did give us was the ability to make our own choices, free will. What he did do was make us human. What he did do was make us imperfect. And so he knew, even though he didn't give us the spirit of fear, he knew that there were going to be times when we were going to be afraid. And when we're afraid, that is one of the most terrifying emotions, most paralyzing emotions that we can have. Fear can lead us to make all types of bad decisions that we wouldn't make if we were more courageous. And so with knowing that and knowing that you made some of your decisions based on fear, you have to give yourself that grace, because what fear puts you in a lot of times is self-preservation mode, right? And so it's really hard to step out on faith, to do that new thing, to try something different, to be that person who just steps out there and just does it afraid. It's really hard to do that when you're really feeling that fear. Hey, resilient dad, and thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I am going to have to screenshot this, frame it, because resilient dad, this is my first super chat. So thank you so much. Y'all have seen history being made. This is a mile haul for living life with Stae, a milestone. I said a mile haul, a milestone for living life with Stae. Thank you, resilient dad. I am so grateful for your generosity. That really meant a lot. Like, I'm so tickled inside. Like, oh my gosh, I have a super chat. I can't believe it. I finally hit that milestone, and wow, you just don't know what that did to me. Like, all of my thoughts just went out the window. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Blessings to you. Yes. Oh my gosh. Like, I'm super excited, Deborah. I'm over here doing my happy dance. Like, hey. Yes, I feel like I am official in these YouTube streets today. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Jamia, and thank you for being here. Yes, like that just, I'm like, what was we talking about now? I have no idea. So thank you. This will be screenshotted and framed. So I appreciate you so much. Casey, you laughing at me. I'm like, yeah, we ain't got to talk about nothing else. Your girl done got a super chat on YouTube. I'm like, I'm done. I want to call the whole family, and now I'm like, come on, y'all, look at this. So yeah, I am done. Yes, thank you so much. That is awesome. I appreciate you. I really appreciate you. Hey, Lacey J, my niecey in the house. Thank you for being here. But yeah, we have to, remember that tension, those things that happen, the things that we would have done only if, the things that we should have done. Oh my gosh, you are just really... You just done took over the show, ARD. Like, it's your show now. Thank you. That is so awesome. Thank you. You definitely did not have to do that. So my gratitude is just through the roof. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. That is awesome. Thank you. So we just, we have to realize that the tension that comes in, and the things that feel like they're holding us back, and the things that we think about, let's think about that when we didn't do those things, the woulda, shoulda, couldas. What was it that held us back? Okay, so fear held me back. Okay, so it was, the negative self-talk that held me back. It was the non-supportive family that held me back. It was not being surrounded by like-minded people that held me back. It was about entertaining relationships where I was not equally yoked that held me back. Okay, so those things were holding me back. Okay, so when I was held back in the woulda, shoulda, coulda, when I didn't make that choice, when I didn't make that decision, when I didn't do that thing, when I didn't step out on faith. Hey, Tim, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. When I didn't do those things, Did I know better then? Did I have all of the knowledge and wisdom then? Did I learn something from that? Did I realize that I need to start moving in different circles? Did I start putting myself in different positions? Did I start surrounding myself with different people? Did I start saying my affirmations after that? Did I start talking to myself a little kinder after that? Okay, yes, I did. So why am I still in that woulda, shoulda, coulda? Because that woulda, shoulda, coulda is what made me what I am today. Let's see. What is your one advice to get over your fear? So, daughter in love, a part of my advice to getting over your fear and stepping out on faith is going to sound very basic and generic at first, but it is simply just do it, right? Because no matter how much we think about things, a lot of us are going to tend to overthink. And overthinking usually builds your anxiety and grows your fear. So once you know that you want to do a thing, you need to start talking kind to yourself. You need to start saying those affirmations. You need to start saying, I am capable. I can do this. I am worthy. I was born for this. I am passionate. I am courageous. I am fearless. I'm telling you, when you start saying those things to yourself, it is going to resonate with you. As you start doing those positive affirmations, as you start talking to yourself in the mirror and not allowing yourself to overthink it, then the next step is to just do it. But a part of your positive self-talk needs to be as well, even if it's not great the first time, at least I did it. Even if I don't hit the mark the first time, no one hits the mark the first time. Even if it doesn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it to turn out, it is still an accomplishment. It's still an achievement. And so that positive self-talk, those affirmations, and clearing your mind of all the negativity and then taking the action is what's going to help you overcome that fear. It's forgiving yourself beforehand, knowing that I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it afraid. And even if it doesn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it to turn out, it's still a win. It's still an accomplishment. It's still okay, because your only competition is the person you were the day before. And so if you were afraid to do it yesterday and now you did it today, you won. It doesn't matter who else might be doing it better, who else might have been doing it longer. You did it today when you were afraid to do it yesterday. So daughter in love, it's the positive affirmations. It's the getting rid of the negative self-talk. It's releasing yourself from the anxiety and then just doing the thing. Hey, Neek, thank you so much for being here, Ladybug. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love seeing your face in the place. And so that's what it is, because so often it's those things that we tell ourselves based on things that maybe we've heard from other people or judgment we've gotten from other people. And so we have to release ourselves from that. Yes, the 3 A's, Deborah. Yes, we have to first be aware, and then we need to hold ourselves accountable, and then we need to take action. Those 3 A's, I'm telling y'all, will move you from that woulda, shoulda, coulda mindset, because what you're going to be aware of and what you need to have that self-awareness is, why am I even giving that stuff energy? Why am I even thinking about that stuff? Why am I letting that hold me back? Because the woulda, shoulda, coulda person is not even the same person that you are today. How about that part? That is not even who you are today. That person who made those poor decisions, that person who was afraid, that's not even who you are today. So why are you even giving that any steam? Why are you giving that any energy? Because even though that's not who you are today, those are the things who made you who you are today. So love the woulda, shoulda, couldas. Love and embrace your poor decisions. Love and embrace your bad circumstances. Love and embrace your poor situations. Love and embrace the fact that you went through some tough times, because it's those tough times that made you who you are today. And I know they weren't easy. And I know that it was uncomfortable a lot of times. And I know that it wasn't fair. And I know that it didn't make you feel good. But damn it, It made you who you are today. It made you the person who decided to think back on those things, and instead of dwelling on those things, instead of being sad about those things, celebrate those things because they're a part of your journey. I totally needed to hear this today. Oh, Grammy, I'm so glad. And y'all already know that's how y'all get me to. When you let me know that I'm making an impact, when you let me know that I am coming in some territory that you have been chartering for a while, when you let me know that I'm speaking to you, that is what gives me that's what my woulda, shoulda, couldas were all about. Because the reason why I share this stuff with y'all is because this is where I've been. I've had those times where, dang, if I just would have only done that, if I just would have only taken this chance, if I just would have only not listened to that person, if I only would have just stepped out. But I realized, but if I would have, then I wouldn't be able to be who I am today. And so much of what I do is about other people. And that's what I'm passionate about. And so you'll also find that your journey can be that very thing that helps you to help somebody else. And so I don't dwell on those things anymore. And so that's why I come and tell y'all all the time, this wasn't always easy for me. I don't have the magic pill. It wasn't perfect for me. I had a journey as well. I'm just trying to help maybe cut somebody else's journey in half, right? So let's see. I had a long day, Stae. I'm tired. I have to go to bed. Good night, my friend. Good night, Chris. I appreciate you for being here. I do, but I understand. Look, y'all, I told y'all I was hanging with the millennials, right? So we had the baby shower, which I call a baby storm for multiple reasons. First of all, it was a storm because, you know, back in my day, baby showers were just the women. We played games, we drank tea, we ate crumpets. You know, that was that. Well, these days, the baby showers are mixed gender, which I love. But that's why I call it a storm, because you have the men in there, you have the testosterone in the room, and you have to do the games that they're going to like. So we did like a slam dunk game, all that stuff. But it was also a storm because it literally stormed yesterday. And we were in the building at the winery, and they have a tin roof. So it was so loud. And so my house is always the after party house. So after the shower, my son and my daughter-in-law came here with their friends because they were so blessed to have friends travel cross country to come and share in this occasion with them. And so their friends were here and they were at my house. And Wallace and I hung as long as we could, but we went to bed at like 1 o'clock. They stayed up until after 5 o'clock this morning and left the house. And then they were back today. So I definitely get being tired. And then we hanging out with them again today. Like I said, I made them spaghetti, garlic bread, Caesar salad, margaritas. They still in there hanging out. So I definitely get being tired. Okay. Lisa giving me some praise hands. I love it. I love it when the hands go up. I love it. Hey, Tori, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Hey, Cece, what's up, sis? Thank you for tuning in. But yeah, we just have to be able to embrace those things and just realize the lessons that we learn and how the lessons that we learn not only touched and changed the trajectory of our lives, it also can touch and change the trajectory of other people's lives. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to create a YouTube channel on this platform and share their story. It's like literally like they say in church, if you can just share with one person what has happened in your life whenever they are struggling, whenever they are suffering from unforgiveness, whenever they're in that woulda, shoulda, coulda mindset, it really helps things to make sense. And I think once you're able to share, and again, it doesn't have to be on a huge platform, but once you're able to share with just one person and you're able to explain to them how you maybe have made some poor decisions in your life. And sometimes our poor decisions are small decisions, and sometimes they're literally life-altering decisions. You know, sometimes our poor decision was to get married. Sometimes our poor decision was to quit school. Sometimes our poor decision was to go into a career we weren't passionate about. Whatever it is, it can definitely change somebody else's life. And so the first thing you need to do is figure out how those decisions changed your life in a positive way and stop dwelling on the negative ways that they affected you, because most of what we go through, especially the self-inflicted stuff, right? The decisions we made, because there's some stuff that happens to us and there's some stuff that we cause to happen. Are y'all clear on that? Give me a 1 on the chat if y'all know the difference between the self-inflicted as opposed to the outer inflicted, because some of the things we can't blame on nobody but us. So give me a 1 in the chat if you know the difference between the self-inflicted. Well, thank you, Sierra. I have enjoyed you so much. That's one of my millennials, girl. She in there with the rest of them. Indeed, after party. Yes, the after party is still going on. After the party, there's the after party. I know that might be not be a very popular what do I want to say, musician at the time, but you know, y'all still know. I'm losing all my popular musicians too. For those of us Gen Xers, like, our people are just falling by the wayside. We done lost Bill Cosby. We done lost the Aura. We done lost Diddy. We don't who do we have anymore? Like, dang. We losing everybody. Okay, so I see the ones in the chat. So y'all know the things. So what we're talking about today are those more self-inflicted things, right? Because the things that happen to us, I don't ever want you to blame yourself for mistreatment. Now, what I do want us to look at when it comes to mistreatment is if we played a part in it by not, our no's meaning no, if we played a part in it by being a people pleaser, because those are things that we can change as far as ourselves. But there's other things that may have happened to us that we didn't have any control over. But we want to focus on today in the woulda, shoulda, coulda, and the things that we really had control over, the decisions that we made that we could have definitely decided something different, the chances that we should have taken and we just decided that we were too afraid to take those chances. That's what we want to talk about today. And so when we talk about those decisions, those chances, okay, so we made the wrong decision at that time. But let's just go back and reanalyze it. Instead of being mad at ourselves about that, instead of kicking ourselves for that, instead of not forgiving ourselves about that, then let's just say, what made me make the decision that I made? Did I realize at that time it was the wrong decision? And even if I did, why did I make that decision? Okay, well, would I still do that same thing today? No, I wouldn't do that same thing today. So guess what? That was a lesson. And sometimes the cost is being a little bit delayed in your success. Sometimes the cost is wasting a little bit of your time. But the good news is you woke up another morning, so you still have time on your side. So those are the kind of things we want to think about. And that's what we want to think about. Okay, I made that bad choice. Have I ever run across somebody else who might be going down that same path? Well, guess what? Now I can share my experience with them to maybe help them not go down that same path. So you see what I'm saying? Instead of kicking ourselves and having this unforgiveness of ourselves and feeling bad and keeping ourselves in the same place, let's look at what happened and see now where we are based on all that and what we're going to do differently. Hey, J3, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much, sir. Yes, J3 done took time to hang out with the Stae Hall Lifer Tribe. Okay, everybody's just saying hi. Y'all know I need to make sure I'm keeping up with the chat. And again, the link is in the chat. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Camilla. Thank you. I'm looking on here on Facebook, y'all. Hey, Elizabeth. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And for those of you who are on Facebook, I'm going to go ahead and put the little housekeeping out there again, or disclosure. If you want to make sure that I see your comments in real time and so that you can really communicate with us, if you would like, you can always hop over to YouTube. Just put @Stae Hall in the search bar. Click on that subscribe button, and then you can join in real time. But I will try my best to pay attention because my Facebook Lifer Tribe members are just as important to me as the ones on YouTube. YouTube just doesn't always like to be, fair and play right with everybody. So I just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, we have to be able to look at the things that we're doing or what we've done, and just really be able to take that deep dive and give ourselves credit and give ourselves grace and just realize how much did I learn from that? You know, if I would have done it then, would I still be in the place that I want to be now? Because sometimes what looked like a bad decision back then looked like a woulda, shoulda, coulda. But at the same time, when you look at it now, you're like, but really, would I really be where I want to be now? Did that, what looked like a bad decision then, really put me in place to where I need to be now? I know I have a lot of moments like that. So for those of you who don't know, when I first, was growing up in life and my talent and whatever, I was a singer. Everybody just knew that I was going to be a professional singer. I had a lot of opportunities, and for whatever reason, because there were several, I just decided not to move forward with certain opportunities. And people looked at me like, girl, if I was you, I would have done that. Girl, you should have been this, or you could have been that. I can't believe you turned that down. And the reason why I turned down a lot of the singing opportunities back then were not necessarily the best reasons back then. Maybe it was because I was dating a guy who really wasn't into me, being in the music industry. Maybe he had some kind of jealousy issues, or maybe I was just, whatever it was. But that was the decision I made. But what I realize now is, as I've grown and matured, I don't really think that my personality fit that industry. And so some of the decisions that we made or opportunities that we didn't do back then that seemed like they would have been great opportunities, and maybe we would have made more money, maybe we would have been famous or whatever. Would we really have been happy? Because as an adult, mature woman, I'm like, I don't really think I would have liked that industry for very long. I don't think that I would have thrived in that industry for very long. I don't think that my personality really fit that industry. And through that, hey, Flo, thank you so much for being here, classmate. I appreciate you. But through being through that, what I did realize is I have a voice, and my voice is not just for singing. My voice is for speaking. My voice is for impacting people. My voice is for telling my story. My voice is for sharing. My voice is for writing. And so I realized that the singing, because that was a natural God-given talent for me, that is what put me on the stage. That is what made me comfortable to be able to be in front of hundreds and thousands of people. That's what made me make the stage my home, right? But that wasn't really my passion, even though I thank the good Lord above for giving me that talent, and I still use that talent, and I still love to sing, and I love music. But I realized that if I would have just completely given my life to music, I would have never felt this. And this is what brings me joy. This is the impact I want to make by being able to share. And so you need to go back and think about some of those bad decisions you made and think, if I would have made that decision back then differently, would I be happy now? And a lot of times the answer is going to be no, because I just couldn't see myself as being. Thank you so much, Flo. I appreciate you, girl. That means a lot to me. And this is one thing. Now, this is one of my friends from back in the day. Flo has known me from the 99s and the 2000s. We graduated together. We went to school together all through middle school, high school. And so when people like that pop up for me and are like, I love your positivity, or this really means a lot to me, I'm like, these are the people that knew me when. And so when they're able to appreciate what I do, that just touches my heart in a special way, because this is a woman who has known me for damn near 40 years. And so when she can say that, I'm like, yes, yes, yes. And that really ties into today, because if I would have sold out to that singing career, I wouldn't be making the same impact that I make today. And so we have to think about those things, because it really does make a difference. And we have to realize too, that woulda, shoulda, coulda mindset also makes us discount our journey, right? Because if you're constantly going back to what you would have done, what you should have done, what could have been, then that means you're not appreciating your journey. Because one thing for sure is, no matter what decisions you really think you made, no matter what choices you really think were up to you, your journey was going to be your journey. And so what you need to do is embrace it. What you need to do is appreciate it. What you need to do is just completely sell out to your journey, and don't keep yourself in the past thinking about things that That's how it was supposed to be. You weren't supposed to make that choice. There's no such thing as woulda, because you did what you were supposed to do. If you believe in things that were already predestined, if you believe that your path was already set for you, then you realize that there's no such thing as woulda. There's no such thing as coulda. There's no such thing as shoulda. You did exactly what you were supposed to do at that time to be where you are today. And so I just wanted to do this live today to say it's time out for living in the past. It's time out for beating ourselves up for things that we can't undo. It's time out for constantly being in a state of unforgiveness for decisions that you made based on the best information that you had at the time, based on the mental stability that you had at the time, based on your emotional capacity at the time. Not many of us are going to do things intentionally to hurt ourselves, intentionally to hold ourselves back. So you have to give yourself grace and say, hey, sis, hey, bro, I did the best that I could at the time with what I had to work with. Yes, sis, give me a yes. Put a 2 in the chat for all of you who are no longer going to live in the past, who are going to forget about the woulda, shoulda, coulda. I need a 2 in the chat for everybody who is making a commitment to live from this day forward. Because guess what? You don't have a choice. You can't live from this day back. Whatever is done is done. You can't unring the bell. You can't undo it. You can't make a different choice in 1985. You did what you did based on the information, the mindset, the emotional capacity, the education that you had at the time. Yes, I'm love seeing these 2s because we are starting our life over today. We are leaving that stuff in the past. Why are you continuing to kick yourself about that stuff? You know, every time you give that thought a moment, that's a moment you're taking away from your present. That's a moment you're taking away from your future. And we don't have that kind of time. What that girl saying, ain't nobody got time for that. I ain't got time for that. And so the next step of that, yes, I'm love seeing these 2s. Yeah, I love that CC 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 7. Yes, we 2 by 7. Yes, exactly. We are moving forward. And then the next step is once we move forward, now we got to make sure that don't nobody else try to keep us back there, right? We got to make sure because we have our own stinking thinking, right? We have our own mindsets, our own negative thoughts that we have to deal with. But then we have that chitter chatter. Anybody have those people who always want to take you back? Well, I remember when you did this. Oh, so you different than when you did that. Well, I told you back then you shouldn't have did this. Well, I tried to talk to you back then. We ain't got time for them. That ain't the people we trying to talk to. And I don't care who they are. If they can't speak to our present, if they can't speak to our future, then we need to leave them in the past because that's not where I live anymore. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's what I did then. That's what I said then. That's who I was then. That's not who I am today. And if you want to stay back there, then I need you to talk to the me that was back there because I'm not back there no more. I'm not back there. Don't let people keep trying to hold you hostage in your past. Don't let people keep trying to threaten you with your past. Don't let people try to keep on telling you who you are today based on your past. What we have to do is be courageous and tell them, yep, I did that. I own all of that. Yep, that was me. Yep, you sure right. That's what I did. Yes, that's what I said. Guess what? All those words are past tense. They're back then. But guess what? I've forgiven myself. And whether you can forgive me or not is not important to me. I would love for you to, but you know what? Your journey's your journey. My journey is my journey. But I'm no longer going to let you hold me hostage back then. How can you keep me in a place that's behind me? How can you try to keep me in a spot that I have moved forward from? How can you try to strap me down in a place where I no longer live? That's you. And if you're still thinking about that, then you're living in the past, but I don't live there anymore. Yes, yes, yes. The devil's closet comes and visits. And we have to shut all that down. But you know, when you tell somebody you agree with them 100%, you know what? You sure right. That is what I did. That is what I said. But I've forgiven myself from that. That don't matter to me anymore. Yeah, no, that's no longer a bother for me. That's what you have to tell those people because that is going to shut them up. They don't know how to respond to that. But when you try to explain, yes, they see you in the past. And not only in your future, they don't see you in the present. It's like, I'm no longer Stae from 1995. I'm no longer Stae from 2023. So you really trying to tell me about something I did or said in 95? You really trying to throw up the ignorant ass boyfriend I had in 1992? You really trying to still keep me? Girl, boy, please, man, miss. I don't even remember that. Who, what was their name? Where did I live? What did I do? I don't even remember that. My mental bandwidth, I only make space for new things now. I only make space for positive things now. Who did you say? What did I say? Where did I go? Oh, I don't even remember that. That's how you have to play them. That's how you have to play them, because they will try to keep you there. They will try to bring up all kind of stuff. Play dumb on them, sis. Play dumb on them, bro. I said, what? I did what? Really? Oh, that's crazy. I can't believe I did that. That's how you have to talk to them. Don't explain anything. Don't try to make anything right. Don't even get into it. Play dumb. I ain't even remember I did that. Oh my goodness, I would never do anything like that. I must have been a trip. That's how you have to talk to them, because if you entertain it, if you even for one moment try to make you feel like you're feel bad about it, then that's when they really gonna jump on it. Let's see. Cece and David keep trying holding me down. Yeah, break free. I know that's how Cece be doing me too. Cece be like, girl. Only lessons learned. Yes, absolutely. It's all lessons learned. Life is an education. Yes, Chrissy, that's my girl. Chrissy, I need you to drop your website or your link or whatever in here. Chrissy be bringing that fire jewelry. I need y'all to bring that. Neek, I need you to share your link. Let's see. Chrissy said, hello. You right. Yes. Neek, come on now. I love it. Y'all act like I'm preaching. Why are people like this? So true. Yeah, because the thing is, the reason why people are like this is because they don't listen to things like this. They don't have a therapist. They don't have a life coach. They don't entertain positive podcasts on social media. They're the ones who like to scroll through and only see the negative stuff. They the ones who like to, talk about women out in the streets with their bonnet instead of trying to help and mentor a woman. They're the ones who, want to talk about how many baby daddies somebody has instead of trying to talk to that sister and take them up under the wing. That's why they talk about stuff like that, because they want to be able to stay comfortable in the place that they are, and they don't want to have to help anybody. They want to blame people for stuff, and they're not doing anything to help, because in order for them to help somebody else, then that means they need to do right themselves, and they want to stay comfortable in where they are. The whole thing, misery loves company, the big fish in the little pond. Because what does it tell? It just takes somebody to do a half an inch more than you doing, and now all of a sudden they feel like they're superior. That's all it takes. It takes for them to get a 2-cent pay increase. That's them little fish in the little pond. So they want to keep everybody down. They want to make sure that they keep you in your place. They want to make sure that they check you. They want to make sure that they read you your rights, because what their hope is to keep you in that woulda, shoulda, coulda, to keep you in that negative self-talk, to keep you in that stinking thinking, so that they don't have to progress, right? They don't want to be challenged. And the thing is, the more you move forward, the more work you do on yourself, the more you ignore them and say, girl, yeah, I was a trip back then. I'm glad I'm not like that no more. The more you talk like that, the more it starts to threaten them, right? The more it starts to challenge them and make them think, oh, shoot, I'm going to have to do something different. They don't want to do nothing different. So they feel like if they can keep on getting in here with you, then they can keep you just one step behind them, so that they can be that big fish in a little pond. And see, I don't want to be a big fish in a little pond. I don't mind being the little fish, because I like to glean from other people. I love being around people who are more intelligent than I am. I love being around people who have more experience than I do. I love being around people who have more education than I do. I love being around people who have bigger businesses than I do. I love being around people who have bigger bank accounts than I do. You know why? Because that's where I'm going to learn. If I want to be a big fish in a little pond, then that means I'm surrounding myself with people who haven't achieved what I've achieved, which means who's going to help me get to where I'm trying to go. But that's what the whole thing is with people. They want to keep you down. But to me, no, I want to be with the people who are doing it all. I want to be with the people who got it all, brand new socks and drawers. That's the people I want to be with, because that's where I want to go. And so I'm never intimidated. I'm just challenged. And the challenge is a good challenge, because I'm like, teach me more, show me more. I love being in a room where I'm the lowest man on the totem pole, because all I want from anybody is respect. I don't need a whole bunch of accolades and awards and pats on the shoulders. And I don't need people doing all this when I walk in the room. As long as you respect me, I'm good with that. We don't have to go toe for toe with the checking account. We don't have to go toe for toe with the degrees. Just respect me and allow me to be in the room, and eventually invite me to sit at the table. But I don't mind waiting my turn, because I understand there's levels to this. I don't walk in anywhere just expecting to be Queen Sheba right off the bat. I want to work my way up. Let me get y'all got me chitting and chatting. Let's see. Hey, Miss Christine, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Girl, yes, the bonnets. People just get on my nerves with that bonnet thing, because another thing we need to realize, and like I was talking to y'all earlier, I have been surrounded by all millennials this weekend and one Gen Z. And they think different than us, and they have different ways of doing things. I feel like we need to have, a middle of the road as the paradigm shift. So, I think we were all the way this way when it came to how you dress when you go. Like my grandparents dressed up to go to the bank. They dressed up to go to the airport. And that's how we were taught. And so now this generation is like, F the police, I'm going out anyway. I want to go out, whatever. And I think a nice middle of the road would be fine. But I do admire their, just they're uninhibited, they're reckless abandon, so to speak. They don't give up. And while we want to talk about that, is crazy. And I'm also never going to be the one to talk about my people, meaning women, Black women, Black people, Black men. Like, I'm not doing that. If you really see somebody out and you feel like they're inappropriate, if you don't feel comfortable approaching them, then just make it your business to mentor and approach some other woman and teach them the right way. But we're never going to get the response that we want by coming on social media and blasting people. Monique, isn't Monique the one who did it? Like, that's crazy. Like, who does she think listened to that rant and said, oh, I'm not going to wear a bonnet anymore? No, the worst way to be able to try to help somebody is by putting them on the defense. Once you put somebody on the defense, they're never going to hear what you have going on. Thank you, Sierra. I appreciate you so much. Yes, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate you as well. And so that's the thing. We have to forgive ourselves. We have to move forward. We can't let other people try to hold us back. We have to stand our ground. We have to live in our truth. We have to talk kind to ourselves, and we have to move forward. We have to realize that we're on a journey. Whatever we went through, whatever decisions we made, those were the decisions that we were supposed to make at the time. And the only thing that makes it a waste of time is if you don't do anything with it, if you don't learn from it, if you don't share with somebody, if you don't make a new choice. And those are the things that we used to do. And I just feel like it's time out for people to stifle their growth and to stifle their ability to move forward by trying to punish themselves for things that they did in the past. Like, I know a lot of women in particular who may have gotten pregnant when they were young as 14, 15 years old. And they have a hard time forgiving themselves for that. And they feel like, I had my child way too young and it prohibited me from being able to maybe go to college or start the career I wanted. But girl, you brought a whole human into this world. What is that human doing? What have you poured into them? How have you invested in them? What are the things that they're doing that only you were able to contribute to? What was the love that you gave them, the education that you gave them, the nurturing that you gave them? Girl, you were in charge of a whole human being. Why are you kicking yourself for that? Yeah, maybe the timing wasn't right. Maybe you didn't have all the resources that you needed to have, but did that child ever know it, even for one day? Give yourself credit for your accomplishments and stop kicking yourself for the mistakes, because that mistake turned into something beautiful. That mistake turned into something phenomenal. And guess what? That is a tribute to the type of person that you are. We can't kick ourselves for those things. Oh, that was you. That was me too, right? That was me too. I think a lot of us have those stories. I also run into a lot of women who had the same situation, but they made a different decision. Maybe they decided to put their child up for adoption. That's courageous. That's bold. That's selfless. Why are you kicking yourself for that? You made the best decision you could with the information, the circumstances, and the resources that you had. Why are you going to continue to kick yourself for making the decision that you felt was best for you at the time? And more so, you felt was best for that child at the time. Stop kicking yourself. A lot of us continue to kick ourselves because we were in a relationship with the wrong man. We got cheated on. We maybe were physically abused. We maybe were mentally abused. But something that we needed deep inside that we didn't get from other relationships in our lives drew us to a person who wanted to play on our insecurities. We couldn't help that. But when you know better, you do better. When you get stronger, you act stronger. When you gain courage, you act courageous. You didn't have those tools at the time. Why are you kicking yourself for that? But how many young women can you talk to about your situation to help get them out of abusive relationships, to maybe help them never get into abusive relationships? Now you know the signs, even though you didn't see them before, but now looking back in hindsight in 2020, you know all the signs. So you can share them with another young woman or another young man for that abuse, because I mean, for that matter, because what I want to tell you is abuse and toxicity does not only plague women, it plagues men as well. We have a lot of women out there who are broken, who decide to abuse and manipulate men. Y'all know I love men. I am a woman. That's what I identify as. That's what I relate to. But I love our men. I hear men. I understand men. Men are abused as well. Men are manipulated. Men go through a lot of the same things that we go through, because the one thing that we all have in common is that we're human. And being that we're human means that we also have emotions, we have feelings. So don't for 1 minute think that there aren't men in your life living in the woulda, shoulda, coulda. Don't think that there aren't men in your life who maybe be going through some toxicity and some abusive relationships where your story can also help them, because they also want to be heard. They want to be seen. They want to be valued. And so you have to think about all the people that you can reach, including yourself, through your journey, through your experiences, through those woulda, shoulda, coulda moments. The moments that if you would not have had, you maybe wouldn't have been able to help anybody. Because one thing that I pride myself in is being someone who's able to help and impact and inspire and motivate it based on not book knowledge, not street smarts, not based on anything I saw in a movie or learned in a class, based on what I lived. And I think that's what makes people be able to relate to me, is because I'm going to give it to you real deal Holyfield. This isn't just what I heard about. It's not what I read. It's what I know. It's what I experienced. And so I want you to look at your experiences the same way. I'm not the only one who can share and impact. And like I said earlier, I'm not telling you that you need to get on the World Wide Web and start a YouTube channel and a Facebook page and do public speaking and be involved in all the conferences. Just reach out to one person, even if that one person is your child, because how many of you are out there? And I want y'all to put a 4 in the chat. And I understand I might not have a lot of people willing to put the 4s in the chat, but how many of you out there who are parents who have been apprehensive, a little ashamed, and a little afraid to share your story with your own children? How many of you? Because I know that was me at one time. I wanted my kids to see me in a certain way. But the thing is, whether we share it or not, they know. They can sense it. But it feels so good to them when we can just say it and they're willing more to open up to us. Yes, thank you for sharing those 4s. Share with your children. You don't have to give them all the grimy details, but share with them. That could be the first person that you help turn around, because so many times we talk at our kids, right? And it's based on our experience, but they don't know that. And so we're telling them what they shouldn't do. And maybe they're ashamed to share it with us, right? Because we're just telling them what they shouldn't do. Let them know some of the things that you did. Let them know some of the things that you've been through. Again, at your own discretion, but don't try to present yourself to your kids as flawless. Don't try to present yourself to kids as perfect, because it makes them difficult. They don't need to know. Okay, Miss Christine, I ain't gonna argue with you. I ain't gonna argue, to each his own. And again, I don't feel like I need to share every dark detail with my children, but I feel like it's important for my children to know that I made mistakes. I feel like it's important for my children to know that I didn't wake up like this. I wasn't born like this. I feel like it's important for my kids to know that I've been down some roads that I'm not so proud of, because my children do know who I am today. And so I feel like that would be inspiration for them to know. And again, not like I'm perfect or flawless now, but I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good. You said they can't handle the truth. Miss Christine, you are a hot mess. I love you to bits and pieces. Sorry, Stae dozed off sitting here watching, going to bed. Been a long, busy day. I know. Morning comes early for you, friend. So I appreciate you, Tim. I do. Get your rest, brother. Get your rest. Yes, good night. But yeah, they can't handle the truth. But that's the thing, too. I'm glad you said that, Miss Christine, because they can handle more than we think they can. And they're going through more than we know they're going through, because it's different. The times, they are changing. My son was old enough to go through some of my dark days with me. Yeah. And that's the thing, especially when they're old enough to go through some things. Again, I'm not a fan of like making your kids your friends and like, hey, girl, hey, but just being honest. And I'm not talking about, when they're 8, 9 years old, but when they get older and they start dealing with things, I just feel like it just creates even a stronger bond. And again, you can edit it the way you need to. They don't have to know all of everything, but just to let them know I've been there or I've been somewhere. Because I think, sometimes as parents, we try to present ourselves as flawless and perfect, and we think that's the example, but that's unrealistic. And so we're giving our kids this goal to achieve that's not even realistic. And then it makes them think that everything they do, that they're just so strange or they're so bad and they're just horrible. And then they don't want to share, because how can I tell this perfect woman or this perfect man these terrible things that I've done or these terrible things that I'm thinking? And so I just feel like it really helps to make that relationship that much stronger. And again, using our own discretion and how much we share, because I get that you don't want to tell everything. And, and like Miss Christine said, sometimes they can't handle the truth, but use your own discretion. He chose to make better choices for himself. I'm so grateful. Yeah. And I think that we can bring our kids out of a lot of dark places if we just simply let them know that we're human. Because, our kids, for the most part, will put us on a pedestal. And, the way they see us now, they just need to know that this isn't how I was at 16. This isn't how I thought at 21. This isn't even where I was at 30, because some of us were still stumbling through when we became parents, but our kids were just too young to know. That was me. I had my first son at 20, and I can say with my kids being a little further apart in age, so my biological children, one will be 33 on the 28th of this month. The other one is 28 and the youngest is 22. So they all have quite a few years in between. Each one of my children had a different mother when they were young. My oldest son, I was a brand new mom at 20 years old. I had never even as much as really babysat. I wasn't a kid person. I was very selfish, when I was a kid. I was all about me, but I prayed to God while I was carrying my son to remove some of those things from me. So I was not selfish by the time I had my son. The Lord also gave me, the nurturing that I didn't have, because I wasn't a really touchy-feely, lovey-dovey person. And those were things I noticed in myself early on. So I prayed for those things, but I still bumped my head a lot along the way raising my oldest son. And then I didn't have my other son until 96. So they are 5.5, 6 years apart. So I matured a lot from 20 to 26. Then I didn't have my last son until I was 30. So clearly, all three of my sons had a different mom. And so we grow and we learn. And again, sometimes we're lucky enough that by the time our children really pay attention, now we've arrived and all they remember is the mom who has it all together. And that's just not realistic. Yeah. And so I just think, thank you, Grammy, I need that vote of confidence. But yeah, and sometimes they just need to know that I've made some bad decisions as well. And I've had some dark times in my life. And I just think they would open up and not feel like they have to hide as much and not feel like they always have to live up to this expectation. And we also need to stop holding our kids to these unrealistic expectations because we don't want them to make the same mistakes that we did, because that's unfair as well. Talk to your kids, guide your kids, but also give them grace. Let them be human. Those are the times when it's okay for you to go back and remember your past. Don't beat yourself up for it. Still show that unforgiveness, but don't forget you were young once too. Don't forget that you were stupid once too. Don't forget that you did not have the mental capacity or the emotional capability once too. My firstborn is my truly first love. Yeah, I get that. There's something about that because, especially when you're younger, when you have your kids, y'all kind of experience life together, and it's okay to acknowledge that. And so that's just, hey, Shanita, thank you so much for being here. But that's just what I wanted to lend to y'all today. Nobody wanted to join me up on stage as always. Y'all be making me feel so bad. And I'm supposed to be on here for an hour and a half, but y'all really want me to talk for an hour and a half straight? Yes. Yeah. Being a young mother, it's a different thing, but it can be so beneficial as well. And sometimes those bonds can be so strong. And it's just about being willing to share and being open and honest. And again, to your discretion, because I do feel like, the parent-child relationship should always be the parent-child relationship. We're their first manager. We're their first supervisor. We're their first boss. We're their first leader. And we do need to have, kind of that hierarchy, that protocol. We need to set that precedent, but we also need to be able to be a little bit more vulnerable with our children and open and honest. And I just think once you share, it just makes it so much easier to forgive yourself. It makes it so much easier for you to kind of woo-saw, relax, relate, release, and just realize it's a part of life. And we all fall short from time to time. But if some of our shortcomings and some of our mishaps can help somebody else, and especially if it's our own children, it's worth it because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And it happens to everybody. I mean, some people's pasts are different, but nobody has a perfect life. I don't care what they try to tell you. I don't care what they try to tell you, from the pool house to the trap house, from the church house to the White House. Everybody got a story. And when I tell you everybody, it doesn't matter. Everybody has a story. Nobody has had a perfect life. And I just think the more we can forgive ourselves and turn our tragedies into triumphs, our traumas into triumphs, victim to victor. You see what I'm doing here with the words? It can just help. It can help a lot of people. So I appreciate y'all so much. It is always a pleasure to sit with y'all. I'm getting a little FOMO because it's gotten quiet in the house and it seems like people were starting to congregate out in the backyard. And so I'm like, where y'all going? Take me with you. I'm missing out because I am really, hey, Lady Champagne, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Lady Champagne, if y'all are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, she is the coldest swing out dancer ever. She is awesome, award-winning. She is a stellar teacher, even though she has not been able to teach me, which is nothing against her. She told me, she was like, you still can't do this. Like she's like, please don't tell anybody that I teach you, because yeah, I'm horrible. But if y'all can learn the stuff, Lady Champagne is the mom. She does all the line dances, the swing out and all that. She is awesome. So hit her up if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But yeah, I just wanted to jump on and share with y'all. But like I said, I'm getting some FOMO because it done get quiet in the house and they out on the back patio. They probably done lit the fire pit. Who knows what's going on out there, but they just left me. But Sierra has been hanging, and then my daughter-in-law was on here. They both have been here on the chat, but neither one of them even clicked the link to join me on stage. So I guess don't nobody have nothing to say, but I definitely appreciate y'all. I hope y'all were picking up what I was putting down today. We are no longer going to live in the woulda, shoulda, coulda. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. It's over. What's done is done. Learn from it, move on, share with somebody, do better, make better choices, which I'm sure you already have. And that's the thing. If you've already made a better choice, if you're already in a better headspace, if you're already living a better life, why are you going to let the thing that makes your life not as pleasant and prosperous and fun and fulfilling as it should be, the fact that you're dwelling on the past? Ain't nobody has time for that at all. We are moving forward, upward and onward, a new day, a new thing. Grace and mercy every single day. And the first person we need to be giving that grace and mercy to is ourselves. And somebody might say, well, that sounds selfish. Well, y'all know I'm all about selfishness, because selfishness is not selfish. It is necessary. And the thing about being selfish is the fact that the better you take care of yourself, and believe me when I tell you this, the better you can take care of other people. So you keep beating yourself in the ground, running yourself ragged, running on fumes, doing everything for everybody, you are not doing nearly the work that you think you are. You are not making nearly the impact that you think you are. You are not doing nearly the good that you think you are, because you are not giving people the best of you. It's only when you completely forgive yourself, flaws and all. It's only when you truly love your life, live your life, love yourself first explicitly. It is only when you truly take your time for self-care. It is only when you truly dig deep to get into therapy, to be the best person you can possibly be, is when you can be giving people the best of yourself. Because when you are not taking care of yourself, when you're not being selfish, when you're not taking care of your self-care, when you're not in therapy, when you're not forgiving yourself, then people are getting that run down, rusty, dusty you. And you may be doing something, but you're not making an impact. You may be doing something, but you're not changing lives. You may be doing something, but you're just putting a Band-Aid on it. But when you get yourself to the best possible version of you, that is when you can truly make an impact. I couldn't do what I'm doing today 15 years ago. Even if I had the desire, even if I still had the same things to say, they wouldn't come across the same. So you have to get yourself to the best version of yourself to be able to show up in excellence every single day, to really impact people and make a difference. You see, Sierra said, we outside. See, I knew they went outside. Well, I'm getting ready to be outside as well. But I hope that something I said today made an impact. I hope it lit a spark and a fire under somebody. I hope that you were able to forgive yourself and just show up every day being a better version of you. Show up every single day forgiving yourself and loving yourself. Show up every single day appreciating every bad decision that you made, appreciating every missed opportunity, because what you are going to take it as is education. What you are going to take it as is growth. What you are going to take it as is a contribution to being who you are today. What you are going to take it as is being bombarded by some millennials that were outside. Hey, beautiful ladies. That's my bad grandpuppy.
No, she's not.
She is very poorly behaved. Sierra, come say hi to the people.
Hi.
That's Sierra.
You gonna say hi,
Kyrie, you gonna come say hi?
Uh-oh. He's in timeout.
Kyrie don't. Oh, he's in timeout.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
He's in real timeout.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you done messed up, Kyrie. Did you say hi, Pamela? You ain't even say hi. You just showed up. I love them, the bits and pieces. They say hello, ladies. Well, thank y'all so much. They came in here, so I'm getting ready to go outside. Evidently, I'm missing all the fun, and Kyrie done got put in timeout. Y'all didn't even get to see him. He just running around here. He's just such a gorgeous little boy, only 3 years old, and he has been absolutely amazing the entire weekend. So I guess he just decided to finally cut loose, because he has not done anything this weekend. He was at the shower. He's been hanging out at the house, and he's been amazing. So I don't know what Kyrie did. He probably told them grown folks, I'm tired of this mess. But thank you so much. I appreciate y'all so much for showing up each and every time. And I will be back. What is today? Monday. So Wallace and I will be back tomorrow for Tuesdays with the Hallway, and we will be talking about how we kind of get through life as a couple who lives together. We're married and we work together. We're together literally 24/7, and just so how that looks for us and how we balance that work-life harmony. And so, yeah, so hopefully y'all will show up again tomorrow. I love seeing your faces in the place, but I love each and every one of you to bits and pieces. I thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time joining us on the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. And hopefully you heard something today that will cause you to not only hit that like button, but also hit that subscribe, because we are on the road to 1K. I think I'm at about 708 or so now. So I appreciate y'all for that, because I couldn't do it without you. But you know the drill. Always be kind and always love one another, but don't forget to live your life. LYFE. Love yourself first explicitly. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.
Living life is gangsta. Hey, hey. 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 Love yourself first, explicitly. You owe it to yourself to move with that energy. Empower your self-esteem. Self-love is king. That's the only way to win. That's how you empower your dream. Living life is gangsta. Hey, hey.